Thank you, guys. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Before I begin, I just want to make sure that I am in the right room. By show of hands, how many of you would like to have a lot more income as well as impact in your lives? Okay, thank you. You are in the right place. My name is Ping Jun, and today I'm going to be showing you exactly how to make that happen. Initially, when I was discussing with Nicholas on what to talk about here when I came up, the initial plan was to talk about social media and how to have a strategy around social media, but I pretty much ditched everything like an hour ago, and with his permission, I decided that I was constantly thinking about like, how can I serve you guys at the highest level? And I think it's not about social media. I think the end game is about getting your voice and your message out there and to be able to impact other people. And here's how I think about this, okay? I believe that the end game is about doing live events. I believe that the end game is being able to impact other people through your message, through your voice. And in this session today, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to make that happen and why live events is actually the end game. I believe that when it comes to running live events, our focus here today is to show you how you can actually make that happen through 5 steps. I believe that when it comes to running live events, there are 5 main pillars that a person needs to understand in order to make profitable live events. Pillar number 1 is the ability to sell the tickets to the live event. Pillar number 2 is how do you get people to show up? Pillar number 3 is what do you teach at the live event? How do you serve them at the highest level? Pillar number 4 is how do you have an upsell? How do you execute it? Because that's where the money is. And number 5, it's how do you repurpose it so that you really make the most of a live event. At the end of the day, if you want to be able to sustain that message, you need to be able to make money out of that as well. And I'm going to be showing you exactly how do you make a presentation, have your audience hanging on your every word, and invest in whatever it is that you have to offer at the end of that presentation. One of the most lucrative skills an entrepreneur can possess is the ability to sell. Not one-on-one, but one-to-many. To be able to do that through a webinar, to be able to do that through a live event, and I'm going to show you exactly how that's possible. So the question is, does this work? Let me share with you why this thing can be such a powerful thing.
I followed Ping's process, I executed on it, and even though it was my first time doing a live event, we did over, in total sales, we did over $400,000. Now, that was roughly 12 signups for the $5,000 offer, and then 14 for the higher offer. I mean, literally, at the end of my presentation for the higher end offer, people got up out of their seats and ran to the back of the room to purchase the program. I mean, no joke. They ran. I thought that was just something out of fantasy land or a dream, but it happened to me. So I cannot say enough about working with Ping. It's not only that I pay my money back this event, but I realize now that if I follow a proven process with events, it can become very lucrative, very profitable, and I can change someone's life. It's not just about the money that we made, but each of the people that were buying our program, like, they were literally thanking me. So many of them with tears, like, thank you for doing this. Thank you for this event. You changed my life. And I don't know if that would be the case had it not been for me hiring Ping. So, Ping, I just want to also speak to you, man. Thank you so much for your support on this. It made a massive difference to me. I know that anyone who gets out to work with you is blessed, and I hope that they follow your instructions. They just do what you tell them to do, because by golly, it works. Thank you so much, my man, and I wish you all the best in business. And for those of you watching, consider Ping. I hope that if you're the kind of person that wants to get results faster rather than slower, hope you choose to work with Ping. Have an amazing day. Peace, love, and gains, baby.
So sidebar, what did I just do? This is called a pre-frame. Now, one of the things you want to be doing in your presentations before you begin is to have a pre-frame to show people what is the outcome and what is the results you generate. Let's begin with pillar number 1, which is how do you sell the tickets, right? How do you get people to commit to attending your live event? So there's 2 ways to do this. Number 1 is you could be selling your own tickets to your own live event, or you could be speaking on other people's live events and get them to come for your live event. So here's how you can run the Facebook ads if you were to fill up your own live events. Now, I'm not going to go deep into this because this is more towards social media and Facebook, but this is the framework. The framework is this. Step number 1 is you are going to go on Facebook on your page and you're going to post up value videos. Now, what are value videos? Value videos are basically videos where there's nothing for sale. There's no strings attached. You're not asking for their email. There's no opt-in. There's nothing. You're just giving them straight, pure value based on the results they would like to generate. So here you are thinking about what are different things they want to do, and you're going to post them on your Facebook page. Now, I'm talking about your Facebook page, not your Facebook profile. Now, once you have these videos up, that's when you are going to boost it for video views. So let's say I want to be able to get people to attend my event that teaches people how to speak. Let's say it's a speaker trainer event or course that I want to sell. So my video would be how to get past the fear of speaking. I'm going to boost it for 50, 100 bucks. And then I'm going to target people who might be interested in that topic. So I'll target it to people who follow other speaker trainers, maybe people like Tony Robbins, maybe people who are into Toastmasters. People have shown some sort of interest in public speaking. Now, once I do that, I'm then going to create a custom audience. Everybody say custom audience. Custom audience. Thank you. A custom audience is basically where you can target people that has watched a percentage of your videos. Okay, so I'm going to target people who have watched 50% of my videos, and then I'm going to run ads to these people who have watched at least 50% of my videos. I'm going to run ads to my sales funnel. So this could be my live event, this could be my free plus shipping funnel, this could be a webinar. And this ad, what it's going to say is something along the lines of, hey, I noticed you watched my video on how to get past the fear of speaking. Is speaking something you would like to be able to master? If so, get my free book where all you need to do is cover shipping, or attend my live seminar, or join us on our upcoming webinar. Now that I'm running ads to go to my webinar and I'm retargeting these people, okay, I don't want to spend too deep into Facebook ads and social media because that's not our focus. I'm going to retarget them. So the money is not in targeting, but in retargeting. What does this mean? It means that now people who came to my page, visited but didn't buy, this is when they will start receiving ads, testimonial-based ads, if they did not buy. Here's what most people do with testimonials on social media. They take testimonials and they run testimonials as an ad. On my Facebook page, there isn't a single testimonial-based ad. Testimonial-based ads are not for targeting, but it's for retargeting. Everybody say retargeting. Thank you. Retargeting. So one of the things you want to be doing is your role is actually to be a testimonial collector. Not because you want to use it in your targeting, in your ads, but to retarget people who's been to your site but has not bought yet. People that's still sitting on the fence. Okay, so all of my testimonials, I will rotate them to people that has been to our site but has not bought that specific product. The next thing that you want to be doing, if you want to sell tickets to your live events, if you want to sell tickets to your courses or whatever offer that you have online, another great way is to create videos of yourself answering objections on why they may not have taken action yet. So one of the things you want to be doing when it comes to selling whatever product, program, service that you have is to think about what are the different objections on why they might not have taken action yet. That's not the price, right? Price is just one thing. But what are the other things that they're thinking about, right? I'm too old to do this, I'm too young to do this, I don't have any technical skills, I don't have the capital to do this. Think about each and every single objection, and one of the things you want to do to retarget them so that they eventually buy is to create a video that answers a specific objection and to rotate them and to balance it out with your testimonial-based ads. Okay, so once you make that happen, okay, another great way to fill up your events is to actually bundle them with the courses and the offers that you have right now that's online. A great way to start selling your tickets is to bundle live event tickets with your current online offers. Think about how you can bundle 2 tickets to your live event as part of your offer. Now, when you do that, here's a couple of things that happens. Number one, you increase the perceived value of your current offer But number two, now you're getting people to come to your live event because that's how you feel your live events. Now the way you do this is this. Rather than just giving it away for free, here's how you position it, and here's the languaging behind it. You're gonna say, my live event, I'm waiving the tuition fee of my live event that's worth $2,000. All I'm asking of you is to cover the cost of the materials and the cost of having your seat in the room at only, say, $97 or $197. Now when you do this, here's what happens. If you gave it away for free, they're going to factor in whether they can attend your live event as part of their purchasing decision, which is not what you want, right? If you gave this out for free and you said, come join, when you invest in our online home study course, you're going to get 2 tickets to a live event that's happening in December. What's going to happen is they're going to think, oh, but I can't make it to December. Oh, but I don't want to fly out to San Diego. And because you gave it away for free, they're factoring it in as part of their purchasing decision. However, if you say you are waiving the tuition fee and all they need to do is cover the materials fee of only $97, it's all different now. It's, oh, even if I can't make it, that's fine because I still have the main thing, which is the online offer. And if I can make it, that's great, it's a bonus. Right? So another great way to start fueling your events is to speak in other people's events. Now, there are a lot of organizers out there, where probably the most important thing they look at if you want to speak in other people's platforms and be a closer is the ability to sell. I believe that probably the highest paid skill an entrepreneur can possess is not in speaking, but in closing. The ability to go on a stage, whether it's through a webinar, whether it is offline, deliver something and have people invest in whatever it is you offer at the end. Pillar number 2 is, how do you get people to show up? Just because they bought your tickets, just because you bundled your tickets as part of your online offer, it doesn't mean that they'll show up. So how do you get them to show up? Couple of things. Number 1 is through micro commitments. Think about if you were to bundle it as part of your online course, how can you do these few things? Number 1, maybe you could give a physical product as part of the welcome gift. So by the time they invest in that something with you, they get this awesome box of awesomeness, right? That makes them a little bit more committed to what it is that you have to offer. Are you able to include some sort of pre-training so that even before the event starts, they're taking these small bite-sized steps so that they'll be a little bit more committed to show up for your live event? Are you able to create a video series from the time they sign up all the way until your live event happens? That brings us to pillar number 3, which is fulfilling the event. How do you serve your audience at the highest level? And what should you teach at your event? Okay, so how do you serve them at the highest level? So most of the time, people think that when it comes to doing a live event, it's about information, it's about the steps, it's about the strategies, it's about the technique. And the truth is, what if I told you that it's not any of that? It's not about information, but it's about transformation, right? So if you want to be able to serve them the highest level, it's not just about giving them the steps, because it doesn't mean that they will execute upon the steps. It's about changing who they are. That's how you'll be able to serve them at the highest level. So yes, strategies are important, the steps are important, but the thing that's way more important is the beliefs, the mindset, and the attitude. So when it comes to creating your event, think about how can you have that balance between strategies, because if all you talked about mindset, and here's the problem, the mindset is not a sexy topic, right? If you called your event, body mindset intensive or something, nobody's going to show up, because the truth is mindset is not a sexy topic, but that's what they need. So balance it out with strategies together with mindset as well as personal development. Okay, so increasing energy levels. So here's the thing, learning requires energy, right? It is actually not easy, and I get it. It's not easy to sit down in a chair 8 to 10 hours a day listening to somebody. So one of the things you want to constantly do is think about how can you shift their state, their energy levels by asking questions, by getting them to stand up. Right? So constantly think about how can you increase their energy levels. Next thing, how do you see it for upsells, which is the next pillar, pillar number 4. So rather than just, here's what most speakers and marketers do. They have teaching mode and then there's selling mode, okay? But people who are masters at the game know how to weave it all together. So one of the things you want to constantly do, because the real money is not in the event. The real money is in the back end of what happens after the event. It's the upsells, right? So how do you have a very smooth transition is when you're constantly seeding. Everybody say seeding? Seeding. Thank you. If you're constantly seeding what it is that you have to offer on the back end, right at the start, so that it's not some weird transition at the back. Now, if you sell something that is low ticket, so for example, $2,000 or less, it is okay to build up the offer and the value and what it is that you have, and then announce the price at the end, $2,000. That's fine. That's what most marketers do. However, if you have something that's high ticket, $10,000, $30,000, $50,000, what you don't want to be doing is the traditional way of building up your offer and your value and what it is that you do and the results you generate, and then suddenly announce the price, which is $30,000, right? And the weighing scale just tips like this, right? So one of the things you want to do is if you have some sort of high-level service, $30,000, some sort of consulting, one-on-one, a mastermind, and you're offering at $10,000, $30,000, $50,000, mention the price right at the start on the first day of the event, on the first few sessions, so that you mention the price first, right? $30,000. Now you have the next 2 days to justify the value and the result you're able to generate so that the scale is able to go this way now. Next thing is the price marinate and the value marinate. Now what is this? Let me talk about topics to teach first. So topics to teach, like what should you talk about? Like I mentioned, at the lowest level, it's teaching the theory, right? It's teaching the topics, but the highest level is all about transformation. The average events focus on information, which at the end of the event, your participants will feel, it was okay, right? There was a lot of information, but doesn't necessarily mean they will execute on it if you're not backing it up with the beliefs, mindset, as well as personal development. Now, most marketers, here's what they do. They announce the price, they announce the bonus, and then they describe what the bonus is, which is horrible. Why? Because think of it as like if you're doing a presentation, if you're doing a close, it's like you're reaching the climax and the crescendo right at the peak and you destroy it and it loses momentum because now you're trying to explain what the bonus is when your crowd, if you're doing online on a webinar, they want to invest and you just killed the momentum. However, what if you changed it by marinating the value in right at the start? So what if in my first 30 minutes of my presentation, as part of my teaching material, I said, the thing in my hand right now, this is a resource that I utilize every single day that enables me to get motivated sellers who's willing to let their properties go at 30% below market value. And one of the things that you want to be doing is to have some sort of unfair advantage like this so that you can invest in properties at 30% below market value. And now what do? I take this, I put it aside, and I don't talk about it anymore. And guess what happens? In the next 1 hour, what do you think they're thinking? They're thinking about, I need to get access to that, right? So now, the value is being marinated in the next 1 hour, in the next 2 days. And when you bring that bonus up, when you come to your close, that's when they go nuts. Pillar number 4 is, how do you execute the upsell, right? Now, the upsell is where the money really is. Okay, so I'm going to show you what are the things to teach before the upsell. Now, people buy not because of logic, people buy because of emotion. What most marketers do is they try to talk about the features and the benefits and all those things. Well, yeah, it is somewhat important. The thing that will make your audience buy It's not in the theory, it's not in the tactics, it's not in the logic, but emotion. Okay, so transition to upsell, this is when you're gonna straight up ask them for permission for your upsell. So whether it's a 90-minute pitch or whether it's a 2-day event, you're gonna straight up just ask for permission to do your upsell. So how you would do is, what you would say is, so how many of you learned something in the last 2 days, right? Would it be okay if I shared with you whatever it is that you have to offer, right? So one of the things that many people hesitate is they're afraid to make that offer or the upsell because they feel it might offend some people. Now what you want to do is this, it is understand that whenever you have something for sale, there will be 1% of your audience who will not like it for whatever reason. They don't like being sold to, they would have feelings like, oh, because you sold them something, it means that you didn't teach them anything. So one of the things you want to be able to do is this. Understand that especially if you're selling to a cold audience on a webinar, there will be that 1% who will leave the webinar because that's just the way things work. What makes people afraid is offending that 1% that makes them stop selling altogether. Okay, I want you to know that the price to be paid is you will offend 1% of people, and that's just how it is. So maybe a day before or in a session before that, spend a short session talking about sales and why sales equals income and why sales is probably the #1 skill that pays the bills. But yet, how most people in the world don't like sales, don't like marketing, don't like ads. But if you want to be a great entrepreneur, you have to be great at sales. Using testimonials the right way. How do you use testimonials the right way? What most marketers do and what most speakers do is they start showing testimonials towards their close, when they're starting to sell. And that's when it feels weird. However, if you condition your audience by showing them case studies or testimonials throughout your entire event, throughout your entire webinar, then there's no weird transition anymore. Demonstrating value. So if you are selling some sort of done-for-you service, if you are selling something that requires a team to fulfill that order, if you are selling coaching, one of the things that I personally do is I don't just talk about the results they generate. I bring in 30-second videos of people that's on my team to demonstrate the little processes that take place as a direct result of people engaging my company or by engaging me, so that they actually see who are these people, their faces. It's not some faceless corporation, but the real people behind the scenes. Who are my writers? Who are my designers? Who are my coders, my programmers? So that they can actually see who are the people involved in that process. The table rush. So how do you get people to take action? It is by having some sort of bonus scarcity, like I mentioned, by building up the value of the bonus beforehand, and by making some sort of real scarcity so that they take action now. Another one is by having a bonus session or a reclose. So something that's very powerful is this. When you do a live event, for the people that sign up to go to the next level, do a bonus 30-minute, 45-minute fast track strategy session with them. Get them to stay back so that there's some sort of feeling of exclusivity, so that they're excited. And what's going to happen is this will drastically increase your stick rates as well. There are many people who invest and then after that, buyer's remorse sets in. This is a great way to condition them, to onboard them, and to make sure they actually take action on their investment to invest in you. Next thing, I just want to share with you little things. I believe that the best closer in the world is Tony Robbins, right? The reason why he's built a $1 billion empire is because in his ability to close at a very, very deep level. That Tony is a master at is in connecting all of his trainings into one huge pitch. That's really what it is. He's great at changing lives, but one thing that Tony has mastered is in selling at a very deep level to the masses. So this is the fifth pillar. The fifth pillar is how do you unlock and how do you scale it so that every single thing that you do all of your events becomes part of a much bigger picture. And that's how you leverage the event. Okay, so a couple of things. Number one is testimonial acquisition. Goes without saying, the best testimonials you will be able to acquire is not from your live webinar, it's not from your online course, but the people that the lives you're able to change when they actually attend your live event. Ask questions like, what's the biggest takeaway from this event? How has this program changed your life? What would you say to anybody that's thinking about joining this program, right? The quality of the questions you ask will determine the quality of a testimonial. Sizzle reel. Live events is great for creating a sizzle reel. This can be used as your entrance video. This could be used on your webinar. This could be used in marketing, right? Great way to create sizzle reels. Marketing images, okay. Next one, group photo boost. So one thing that is really great is that when you start doing all these different live events, one of the things you want to do is you want to take a picture of your group, and at the end of the event, get them to comment on what their biggest takeaway was from the event. Now, here's why you want to do this. The reason why you want to do this is because, guess what? This is going to be an amazing ad for you. You're going to use this image to retarget all these people that's thinking about attending your event or showing up for your live event. When you have like 200 or 50 comments or 30 comments of real people talking about how this event changed their life, this is going to be a very, very powerful ad for you. Next thing is comment forms. At the end of all of the events, get people to fill in these comment forms. They're not just for marketing, but to protect you. Ultimate testimonial. I believe that one thing you want to be doing in your live event is to get feedback from your audience. Yeah, you want to be able to get testimonials, and this is the ultimate testimonial, right? By getting feedback from how they feel at the end of the event. Guys, I want to thank all of you for having me here. It's been awesome, and wish you all the best. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.